Hi, this is just a brief video on how to solve rational functions that are actual sort of word problems of rational functions. And so we're just going to walk through and solve two problems together today, and we'll show our work, and then we'll answer our questions sort of back in context and explain what we found. So it says, number 4, Scott is taking a test that has two different parts in it. His goal is to get a 90%. He finished part 1. And a quick scan by the teacher reveals he got 18 out of 23 questions correct. He begins part 2. If he answers each consecutive question correctly, how many must he answer correctly for his grade to be higher than a 90%? Show all of your work and explain your reasoning. So the first thing that we want to do when we're doing a problem sort of like this is we want to recognize that we have a percentage, and you can either write a percentage as a decimal, so like 0.9, or you can write a percentage as a fraction, 90 over 100. Doesn't matter which one you use here, just recognize that you could see it both ways in class or in solutions. So Scott's goal is to get a 90%. Okay, he wants 90. What does he have to do to get to 90? Well, he has to answer certain questions correct, and then we're going to put that number on top, and we're going to have to divide it by the total number of questions on the test. And so far, Scott has answered 18 correct, and he's gotten 23 right. So besides knowing how many he got correct, we also know that he's going to take part 2 of the test. In part 2 of the test, he's going to get an unknown number of problems correct. So what we want to do is we want to actually add x, because we don't know how many questions he's going to get right. We already have 18 that are right, so we're going to add some more. But if we add more questions, then that also adds to our total. And so the purpose of this whole unit was rational functions. This is a rational function. And now what we want to do is we want to solve this rational function. And the way that we've been talking about doing that is making it into two rational functions. 1 divided by 90 and equals 18 plus x divided by 23 over x. And we talked about how we can cross multiply, because that's just multiplying both sides by the denominator. So if I multiply this side of 90 times the denominator, I get 90, and that's a parenthesis of 23 plus x, and that will equal 1 times 18 plus x. Apologize for the highlighting. I don't know how to get rid of it. What we have to do next is we have to make sure that we can distribute. So we're going to distribute 0.9 to 23 and 0.9 to x. And then obviously this side, if you distribute 1, this side doesn't change. So multiply and solve. So if you multiply and solve, you get 20.7 plus 0.9x. That's a point as well. Now we just have to combine like terms and to subtract. So I'm actually going to subtract 0.9x from both sides. X. Subtract 0.9x. I don't know why the points don't show up. And so I have 20.7 equals 18 plus 0.1x. Subtract 18 minus 18 minus 18. Oops, that's supposed to be a minus 18. So if I subtract, again, that would be like 18.0. So I would actually be left with 2.7 equals 0.1x. I divide both sides by 0.1. And when I divide both sides by 0.1, it turns out that I'm going to have to answer, or Scott is going to have to answer, 27 questions correctly to get his grade to be a 90. And if he answered 28, then it would be higher than 90. So Scott will need to answer 28 questions correct to score,
'Score. 'Higher. 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 'Score. 'Hig
than 90%. Wow. Sorry, I apologize that the pen is very hard to write with. But that's kind of what we've been doing in our last section. The next problem that I want to show you is another one. And it talks about Manuel enjoying racquetball, and he's considered joining the local gym. He joins the gym for $30 each month, and they charge a $2 per hour fee for using the racket courts. They also allow people who are not members to use the courts for $7 per hour. If he joins the gym, how many hours would he have to play before the average cost is less than $7 per hour? So again, average cost is you have your $30 a month plus your $2 per hour. And we don't know how many hours he's going to play. And the average is the cost divided by the total number of hours. And we want to know, really, we could write this as a less than sign if we wanted to, less than $7 per hour. Even if it's a less than or equal to sign, you set it the same way. We're going to multiply both sides by x. So we get 30 plus 2x is less than 7x. We'll subtract 2x from both sides. So 30 is less than 5x. We'll divide by 5 from both sides. And we get 6 is less than x. Or if I rewrite it the other way, x is greater than 6. So Manuel is going to have to play how many hours? He's going to have to play more than 6 hours before his average cost is less than the non-member people. So if he wants to be a member, he's got to play more than 6 hours to make it worth his time. That's kind of what we've been doing in terms of just taking a rational expression from a word problem, writing the function, and then solving it. And your homework looked very much the same. If you have any questions, please stop by anytime. Thanks. Bye.